Hello friends, welcome to my another video. So in this video we're going to discuss about a few of the JavaScript array functions which are very useful when you do the programming, and I'm going to discuss about four of the functions in this video, and I'll release subsequent videos with another set of functions for the which we can use for the arrays. Okay, so let's get started. So the first function that I'm going to discuss is every. So that is a new function which is available for the JavaScript arrays. So let's see how we can use the every function. Okay, so yeah, before that let me just define one of the arrays. Let's say if we have an employee array with a list of with a set of objects. Okay, let's say we have a name. It says John, then age is 30. Okay, so I'm creating four employees here: John, then I have Mark, then Jack, and I have Willie. So John's age is let's say it's 25, and Jack is 35, and Willie is 40. Okay, so let's say we have four employees, and then the first function that we're going to discuss about is every. So basically this function is useful. So let's say if you want to validate if all the employees I have is having age of more than 25 or more than age of 30 or 35. So if you want to have a scenario where you want to check each and every object inside an array and then validate if a specific object, the parameter is greater than something or is equal to something, right? So in those cases we can use every. So which basically means it goes to each and every object or the values in this array, and then it see if the condition that given is satisfied or not. If the condition is true for all the objects or all the data that is inside the array, it returns true. Okay, let's see how it works. So what I can do is I'll just define employee dot every. So this basically takes, it gets each employee data, which is basically each object here, right? And then it returns simply employee dot age is greater than 30. So if the employee age is greater than 30 for all of the objects inside this is greater than 30, then it returns true. So let's say I have something like this. I'm storing inside var age check. Okay, and if I print this console.log age check, you get false. You see, it gets false because we have employees with age less than 32, right? So we have like 25. So if I put like 20, you see all the employees that I have is having age more than 20. So 25, 30, 35, and 40. So it returns true. So it checks for each and every object which is inside the array, and then if this condition satisfied for all the objects, so that's the main thing. So it checks for every single object inside this. If it is satisfied for all the objects, then it returns true. Okay, so there is one more. The second one that we are going to discuss is the sum. Okay, so sum is similar to every. So the only difference is this returns true if at least one of the objects inside this array is satisfy this condition. So let's say if I put 30, still it returns true because I have like age at least two objects with age greater than 30, 35, and 40. So it returns true. So if this is every, it returns false because it satisfies for it checks for all these records, but sum is the difference is it checks if at least one of the records inside this array is satisfying this condition. So if I put 40, then it returns false because I don't have any employees with age greater than 40. So if I put 39, I have one with 40, so it returns true. So that is about the sum and the every. So next function that I want to discuss is the filter. The filter basically, if you want to like extract from this array, let's say if you want to extract all the objects which has age greater than 30, let's say if you have a use case like that, then you can use filter. So how it works is, let's say where filtered is equal to employee dot filter employee so have right, so I have each employee in this. I'm getting each employee here, so it takes one argument. So basically the filter, I'm getting each employee, and then what I'm doing is I'm returning if the employee dot, sorry, I'll say emp, because I don't want to confuse between this. I have this as employee and this just emp, right? So emp dot age is greater than 35. Okay, so what it does is, if this condition is satisfied, so which means if the object has an employee with age greater than 35, which we in our case we have only one object which is greater than 35, which is Willie, and age is 40, so this will return, only this will be returned. So basically if I print this console.log of filtered, I'll have one object here which says Willie and 40, you can see here, right? So that is a use case of a filter. So if I put 30, I'll get two objects, which is Jack 35 and Willie 40. So if you see this, I have Jack 35 and Willie 40. I have two objects. Okay, so that's the use case of a filter. And now let's say if you want to, there is next function that we're going to look at is map. So let's say if you have a use case of to get all the names in this from this object, just the names, right? I want to get the John, Mark, Jack, and Willie in an array. So what you can do is, it again, this is just iterates through the map, which takes again one element, and then you can put the index 2 as a second argument, but in our use case it's not required. So I'll just take each employee object from here and return employee dot name. So I'm taking each object here and then I'm returning the name. So I get John, Mark, Jack, and Willie into this filtered array, which I'm printing here, John, Mark, Jack, and Willie. So if you want to get age from all this, you can get 30, 25, 35, 40. So which is the age. So that's the map. So basically the map is just iterating through the object, and you can do any operations that you want. If you want to get if you want to take each of the objects and then you want to do some operations and then return something, you can do that too. But this is another use case where you can, if you have a use case of getting all the names which is there in this array, then you can use this map. Okay, and yeah, I'll just have one more example, one more function here, which is, let's say if I have a number array, numbers equal to having 1, 2, 3, 4, 45, and let's say 50. So let's say if I have an array like this, and we have a function called the includes. So let's say if you want to check if this array has the 45 as an element, right? So if you want to check that, then you can use the function includes. How we can use is numbers dot includes of, you can just pass the 45, which is the value, and it returns you just the true. I'm just console logging here, so you can see this returns true, which means the 45 is part of that array. Let's say if I put 46, it returns false because the 46 is not part of the array. So this is another handy one that we can use to see if an element is part of an object or not. So just to I mean, just to before we end the tutorial, so just to the functions that we have discussed in this tutorial are the first. Initially we discussed about the sum, and then the every, and then filter, and then the map, and the includes. So these are the 5 functions that we discussed in this tutorial. So hope you understand something from this tutorial. If you do, then please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your friends, and leave a nice comment. And we'll see you in the next video with next set of functions, array functions in JavaScript. Thanks for watching. Bye.